Okay, hello to everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for my Instagram live interview. We are waiting on Mr. Herman Mashaba, who is amazing. Hi, Herman. How are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
Lovely. You have a good line on your side. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, we can't hear you so great, but anyway, let's start, and hopefully the line will get a little bit better as we go. So basically, we are chatting to Herman Mashaba. He's, of course, a South African entrepreneur, politician, the former mayor of Johannesburg, and, of course, the founder of hair product, Black Like Me. And I think, you know, I'm speaking about you as if you aren't here, but I mean, you are so widely respected for your life story, which is, of course, growing up and struggling through apartheid South Africa. Tell everybody behind you to keep quiet. And of course, created such an amazing impact.
Thank you so much for this great opportunity. Absolutely. Born 1959. Jeannie, I'm a senior citizen of the country. Just turned 60 last August. So I qualify for SASSA. I should have actually applied because there's an extra 350 that the president announced. So I should really I should have received an increment, but unfortunately I did not apply. I'm unemployed, spending a fortune on helping South Africa to reshape our country and take it back from the politicians and get this country back to work again.
Yeah, that is definitely what we need. And we're going to get to that in a little moment. I want to first know, how was your lockdown? What did you spend your time doing?
My goodness, I think it's been, honestly, one of my busiest moments of the preparation for the on the 6th of December last year, I launched what is known as the People's Dialogue. People's Dialogue is, I called it, driven by civil society, because prior to 1994, South Africa achieved a miracle of CODESA. But you looked at it 26 years later, that CODESA only benefited the politicians. So I then really committed to unseat politicians from power and give power back to South Africans. And now, before I could launch, then we had the lockdown. So I had to speak to my team, and we decided to use technology to communicate to our people. I can tell you, you literally work 24 hours a day because you've got no reason to say the office is closed, because I'm always here at home, exercise. But then what was beautiful about the last few months is an opportunity to exercise literally 6 days a week. Because lucky I've got a gym at home and a steam, and actually my wife lately, she insists that every second day I must go into a steam so that to avoid have an exercise and go into the steam room. And get into my study work until late at night.
Yeah, keeping yourself nice and healthy. And I believe you're a music man as well. You play the piano. So have you been playing lots of amazing, beautiful music?
Not had a chance to play the piano itself. I've been the beginning of this year, January this year, I designed.
Herman, I think we're going to have to start again, sorry, because our sound is very, very corrupt on this side.
Oh, yeah, so no, I see someone was, I was receiving a call and I didn't know how to stop it, you know, so I was just ignoring it. That's it. So, no, actually, you know, I've not really played too much of my piano, but what happened is, beginning of this year, I managed to really buy a turntable because I've got lots of LPs from the 70s and 80s. So that's what I do. Fridays like this, I'll go into my lounge, to my lounge where I've got my piano and my LPs and play music until 1, 2 or so at night, all by myself, listening to real great music that you cannot get in the shops today.
Wow, that's really nice. I've got a gin company. I'm going to send you some gins that you can have a gin and tonic when you're listening to some of your favorite artists.
Absolutely. My number one artist, it's Marvin Gaye by far. I love
I
I
love
love
Marvin
Marvin
Gaye.
Gaye. I love Ray Charles. You know, so that's a kind. I'm an R&B person and jazz. And actually, for me, music is part of my DNA. I can't operate without music. I've got to actually. Every
Yeah,
morning,
that's
for some
good.
reason, the last few months, before I wake up, there's one of the best songs that I like that will just play in my head to wake me up, and it actually gives me the energy to start the day after listening to this great music. I don't know why it is happening, but it actually happens every single morning without any doubt. I will be woken up by a great to music playing, and every day it's a different one.
You know why that happens? Because music
Uh-uh.
is everything and energy is everything. So when you're waking up to beautiful music, it already is putting a positive spin in the rest of your day. So what can go wrong?
Yeah, I think so because by the time I get up, I'm really inspired. I'm excited. Then I'll just brush my teeth and then go into the gym and have a shower and then have coffee and come into my study, work until late.
Nice. And you've certainly
Some
got
days, can imagine I work from home. Some days I don't even get a chance to go and have lunch.
yeah, shame. I wish I had that problem. Eating is probably one of the most important things of my day. Now, I want to discuss
Yeah,
a
no.
few serious topics with you before we get into the rest of the fun stuff. So, at the moment, what I saw this morning from the stats is 240 women have been murdered in South Africa and 4,500 have been raped in South Africa since the murder of George Floyd, which, I mean, we remember it's the worst, it's a terrible thing to have happened. And there was so much public outcry from for the American man, but nothing has been done in South Africa to protect our women and about our women. What do you think is going on here? Why do you think there's all this violence and hatred towards our women in this country?
Yeah, Jenny, sorry, you're breaking, but I think I've got a gist of your question. Am I clear enough myself?
Yes, you are. You're clear.
Hello, Emma. Okay, great. Yeah, I think, Jenny, it's really quite unfortunate what's happening in South Africa. I cannot really understand how our government has literally destroyed our criminal justice system. They've destroyed our morality as human beings. Because when you've got human beings without having moral and ethical compass, you've got a challenge. And unfortunately, our current government has destroyed our morality and ethics. And in the process destroyed our criminal justice system. So we are on our own as a country. And actually, interestingly, the last 2 days we've been with my team because we're busy putting together our policy offering when we launch the political party. We've been engaging experts. The other day, we were dealing with fraud and corruption. Last night, we were dealing with the criminal justice system. We had retired judges, detectives who've worked in the police for more than 30 years. We've got senior attorneys, people who've worked in the NPA, in the Scorpions and so forth. And it is sad to see how honestly, our current government has destroyed our criminal justice system deliberately because obviously if we have a functional, effective criminal justice system, our current leadership, a big number of them unfortunately are going to be the ones in jail. So their survival is dependent on dysfunctional system.
Wow. I saw an article in the City Press.
That is actually quite scary.
It's terrifying. I think so many people are scared living in this country at the moment for a multitude of reasons. But I think especially women, and I think that's the point that I really want to drive. And I saw in the City Press, you were quoted as saying that you think death penalty should come back for murderers and rapists in South Africa. Do you think that'll ever happen? Do you see that happening in this country?
Absolutely. Well, look, I think that's something, Jenny, I'm unapologetic about this. I will do everything possible to mobilize South Africans that we will need a referendum on this particular matter. For me, first degree murder and rapist. And we've got overwhelming evidence of the crime being committed by this individual. I'm not prepared to pay my taxes to go and feed such an animal when I've got children in this country, families in this country who sleep without food. I must go and give them accommodation, give them 3 days a day. Honestly, I will not hesitate a minute to really call for the death penalty against such.
Yeah. It really is such a controversial topic. I think we're losing you actually again. Shame the line hasn't been amazing. But I think it certainly is a really controversial topic. I don't know if we can get Mr. Herman Mashaba back on the line. What do you guys at home think? Please do let us know in the comment section. What do you think if South Africa should or shouldn't impose the death penalty? So I think I'm going to try. We definitely all need way better technology. Okay. To see if he, or let's see if he joins this one. Okay. Sorry about this. There you go. We've got Mr. Herman Mashaba coming back onto our chat. Sure, we just need, everyone needs better internet. There
Jeannie,
you go. We've got you back. You are back. We can't see you, but you are back.
Okay, I wonder what's happening. Yeah, my internet looks full on my system for my normal work. I'm not sure what's causing this. Yeah.
Well, no worries.
And obviously, even on my normal data.
Yeah. Well, we can hear you quite nicely. We just can't see you. You know, I think it's such a sad state of affairs at the moment because South Africa seems corrupt, incompetent. It seems completely fragmented. We certainly do need positive change. So what is your strategy when you do come in with your new party?
Yes, Jenny, do you mind actually? My technical people says I must switch on another phone. Let's see if we can. Let me just connect again,
Okay.
maybe on a better phone. Maybe the problem is my phone. Give me a minute. I'm connecting on my Teams phone. Just give me a minute. My apology.
No worries at all.
Okay.
And to everybody at home, what we're going to do is kill this and then I will start it up again the minute we've got Mr. Mashaba back with us. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, hi, sorry, I know that we lost you, but we are now live and we are getting Herman Mashaba back with us. Thank you so much for joining us again. We're just waiting for Herman Mashaba to rejoin. There you go. And we can start with our conversation again. There you are.
Okay, looks actually probably my phone is the one that's had a challenge.
No, not at all. Welcome back. Very, very happy to have you back.
Oh, yes, and it's perfect. The problem is with my phone. It's not used to this new latest technologies. It's an old man's phone.
No worries at all. I'm shocking when it comes to technology. So as long as you've got somebody young around you to help you, then it's all sorted. So we were discussing gender-based violence and the root of it and the way to kind of curb it and help it. I mean, it seems like it's so radically out of control at the moment. What do you think is instigating the level of behavior with people that are being so violent and aggressive?
Look, the factors that are contributing to this, firstly, is the lack of political will, because a big number of our political leadership belong to the criminal underworld. That's the first problem. The destruction of or the dysfunctional way that they've destroyed our criminal justice system. So our justice system deliberately has been rendered dysfunctional. But what is more important for me, it's actually a lack of education, not really providing the right type of education that can make people have the dignity. Because, you know, people who create these heinous crimes, more especially rape, are people who with less self-esteem and so on. I cannot just understand in the hell in my life when anywhere in the world we've got more women than men. I know of cases. The other day I was saying to some friends, I find it difficult for these animals to be doing what they're doing. Women today, they go to church, pay money to this latest churches where they're looking for partners. They pay this so-called ministers and pastors to get husbands. So it doesn't just really make sense to me. In the world, we've got more women than men, and so there's no shortage of women. So there's just no reason why people should really commit these heinous crimes. These are people who are sick, and we don't really need them in our society. If other people are happy to support them and put them in jail, I'm the last person in the world to support such people. And more especially, why, Jeannie, I will not really support this. Because as I'm talking to you right now, there are law-abiding families, young kids who are sleeping without having a single meal every single day. So I'm not really prepared to spend my taxes, my hard-earned taxes, to spend to rehabilitate the criminals. I'd rather feed young children where we can actually give them the future.
Well, I agree with you 100% on that point. I think with these children going to school hungry, I would rather see my tax money going to them instead of the criminals sitting in prison for rape and murder. So, yeah, you definitely have my vote there.
Thank you. So the day when I launch a campaign to really asking for referendum, so at least I know I've got Jeannie to be one of the first signatories.
Well, I believe in education, and I believe if the education in this country changes, I do believe that we're going to see more opportunity for people. I'm always very apolitical, I must be honest. There's nothing about politics that I enjoy. But when it comes
to Jeannie,
when it comes to change, that's what I say.
Jeannie, let me tell you something. Any human being is a political animal because our lives revolves around politics. And I think what happens is, when, like what has happened in this country, the politicians, they take advantage of silencing people. You know, for any democracy to work, civil society has to be active. But now what happens with dictators and communists, what they do, they want to silence you because once you're silenced, you say, I don't want to get involved in politics. I tell you, they celebrate, because then they know they can do what they want to do with you. But when they know you're going to hold them accountable, that is when you stop abuse of politicians abusing civil society.
100%. You know, one thing that I absolutely adore about you is that we've got one thing in common. We both love hair very much. And also,
but I don't have any longer. I used to have in my youth.
Money fixing everybody else's hair that you don't need your own. You know, I think I've read your books, and I think that your story is absolutely remarkable. You come from poverty, you come from, you know, an apartheid regime, and you were able to create so much for yourself. What drove you? What do you think separated you from the rest?
I think, Jeannie, I really attribute my upbringing and my values to my grandfather. Unfortunately, when I discovered I was a human being, I was 5'6", and all of a sudden I had no parents around. And I'm told my mother works as a domestic worker in Johannesburg, coming home, if we like you, once a month. And I'm told my father died when I was 2. So for me, I don't know. I've never called anyone dead in my life. Calling someone dead totally foreign to me. I've never called anybody dad in my life. But I had this great, my grandfather, my father's father. I meant everything to this old man, this Shangan man who was a security guard for the municipality of Garangua. So he used to come to our Damaskral once a month. And the whole village, as he comes into Amanskral, arrives by bicycle, everyone they will know that he's there and he's there looking for me. And I meant everything to him. And the weekend when he's there, he'll always want me by his side. December, when he gets the holiday, spend as much time as possible. Everywhere he went, I had to really accompany him. And he taught me to really be an individual. One thing that I always tell people about what my grandfather taught me is to say, you know what, my son, what you need to do in life to succeed. Don't believe what people tell you. Believe what they do. He says it's very, very important. He says, please give people an opportunity. Listen to people, engage, but ultimately judge people on what they do, not what they say.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people can say nonsense. You know, I remember so many cases in my youth. My grandfather chasing people away from our home. Literally, to his friends, they'll be there drinking and whatever, and all of a sudden he gets, he'll be the type of guy who will never hesitate to chase a guy and tell him, never, I don't want you to set foot again in here. And, you know, we did not understand as kids and whatever, but he will then, obviously, when you get a chance, he'll tell you, no, this is not an honest man. So, honestly, for me, and integrity is very important. And that's what my grandfather taught me. And that's something that I've learned to practice. And as I get older, I get even much more refined in respecting protecting my reputation. Because when I grew up as a 14, 15-year-old boy until I got married, I used to like beautiful girls. Oh my goodness, that was one of my big weaknesses. And when I decided I was going to business, I realized for some reason God gave me this wisdom that to be successful in business, you need stability. Amongst many of my girlfriends, there was this particular one. And I said, you know what, this is what I'm going to propose. You can imagine I'm 20 and I was 22. And I was realizing, when you're running out of time, and my girlfriend was 20 and still at school, you know. So I proposed to her.
How did you propose?
And we've been married now 38 years. March this year, we celebrated 38 years of our marriage. And this beautiful woman, because she's as beautiful as when I first saw her, because I first saw her in late November 1978, and I got married to her in 1982, and she's still as beautiful. In fact, it looks like she's getting more beautiful as she gets old, better as she gets older. But I'm worried because I'm getting uglier, so I hope she mustn't lose. So I hope she mustn't give up on this old man, you know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I look at her every day, she looks younger. You know?
Yeah. Congratulations. That's really, really lovely. And I think that's really beautiful because you're right. To go through life with somebody that you love so much and that you can bear witness of each other's lives is a privilege. It's really beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. Absolute privilege. And honestly, I mean, I know a lot of guys and women, they've really gone through difficult periods in their marriage over the many years, and friends, very few friends are still intact. And it really breaks our heart every time this happens. And we really pray, my wife and I, we pray and work hard to ensure that, yes, from time to time, you know, we get cross with each other. And the following day, we forget about it and move forward. And we've accepted it as part of life. But they are not, we've not gotten anywhere close to a break even. It was always, it's always been saying, you know what, it's a difference of opinion. Not that we don't disagree. And I think the reason why I got married to my wife is because of my nature. I mean, people take me to really be a strong individual. And my father taught me to be like that, to be an individual. I'm an individual, and I mean, I'm uncompromising. But one thing for me, I can tell you, Jenny, my success in life totally dependent on being surrounded equally by brave, courageous people. Being management and everything, I always tell people who work with me, there's no way I want a weak person in my top management structures. We have to debate, we agree or we don't agree. But at the end of the day, I'm not looking for someone who does not agree with what is being proposed, and you keep quiet, you don't want us, and then one day you tell us, I didn't approve of this. I can tell you, I'll never forgive you for that. Because if we agree, when we negotiate, because I always, fortunate enough, I always negotiate in total good faith. I'll never really mislead someone. I will always upfront, and I make mistakes in the process. That is why I need to be surrounded by strong people, and I'm surrounded by a strong woman that I know will never take my nonsense. That's why
That's what South Africa needs, though. Like when you look at the gender-based violence, I think a lot of young men lack role models. They lack someone like you had your grandfather, and I think a lot of these young men lack someone that they can look up to as their leader, as a guide, to give them the great advice and to teach you humility, how behavior, and respect, how to respect women, like the way you speak about your wife, so beautiful. And yeah, that's what we need.
No, I mean, look at what this new government has done since 1994, encouraging young girls to have babies and pay them and reward them for that. I mean, it's beyond imagination. I mean, unfortunately, it's politics.
They didn't tell me that they were going to pay me for having babies.
No, you remember a few years ago, in the early stages of our new democracy, already President Thabo Mbeki at the time realized that South Africa was losing its morality. But we were totally surprised when he took Jacob Zuma as his president to lead the moral regeneration project for the country. I mean, I can't, it's totally unbelievable. You get Jacob Zuma to lead
We're suffering from more moral decay than ever.
Oh yeah, and what happens? Took us from bad to worse. So we, as part of really the work that I'm doing right now with the People's Dialogue, and that is actually coming out from experts in the legal profession. We've been engaging them the last few months, the last few days. It is the success of our criminal justice system. It's going to depend on a society with morals and values.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing what happens with your political party going forward. Let's stay in touch, and we'll definitely follow your journey.
Thank you so much
for chatting to us today. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much, and apologies for the connections in the beginning. I wonder, this phone I'm telling you is hardly a week old. I don't know why.
No, it doesn't matter. Don't worry, it's all good. Send my love to your beautiful wife, and have a beautiful day. I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everybody at home that's enjoyed our chat. Remember, this will be posted on my IG Live page, and of course on my YouTube channel as well. Have a gorgeous day, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely one too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.